Alrighty, so hi, this is Amanda from AC Fitness. This was supposed to be an Instagram live, except the technology gods were not in our favour. No matter which way, this is Belinda from Be Fitness,
Hi.
Be Active Fitness. No matter which way we did it, it would not allow us to view each other's lives. So obviously, we were not meant to go live today.
Never mind.
Next time.
Please.
Technology is not our friend.
No.
Anyway, so today we're having a bit of a chat about strength training and in particular women, something that's both near and dear to both of our hearts. So we thought we'd jump on and chat about it because we can chat till the cows come home.
Yeah.
So we're just going to introduce ourselves first, and then what we're going to do is talk about some of the benefits of strength training. Then we're going to talk about why we strength train and how often and how long we've been doing that. And then we're going to bust a few myths for you. All right, so to introduce myself, for those who don't know me, my name's Amanda Chesterton. I'm the owner and personal trainer who runs AC Fitness. I'm based up on the central coast of New South Wales. I've been a trainer for 11 years now, and I do a combination of PTing and group fitness, and my main focus is on helping people become healthier and stronger sustainably as a way of life. How about yourself, Belinda?
Sounds good, Amanda. I'm Belinda Foote. I own Be Active Fitness. I'm in Rouse Hill in Sydney. I specialise in small groups, being a PT fitness trainer for 3 years now. And yeah, I really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. So yeah,
it's cool, isn't it, when you can make a difference in people's lives, huh?
I love helping people. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's why I got into it as well.
Yeah.
So with strength training, I think there's a lot of misconceptions around it. So I think if we run through some of the benefits, say for instance, things like fat loss, you were saying earlier when we were having a chat.
Yeah. Yeah. So the benefits are that muscle burns more energy than say doing just cardio. So your strength training is really beneficial. So when you develop more muscle mass, you tend to be able to burn more calories, more energy, even while you're sitting down. Your body becomes a burning machine. So there's a lot of benefit to that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think people sort of think, oh, they've got to smash it in cardio. And yeah, they may do more calories within that cardio session, but then once that session ends, then that's it. Whereas with strength training, you not only have the fact that you're building muscle, which is more energy expensive anyway, but even when you're at rest, you're going to be burning more calories. And it's also, you're also, after a strength training session, you're going to be burning more calories on top again for the next, 24 to 72 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. The afterburn is really important. You don't want it to stop burning while you've stopped your exercise. You want to keep getting your body to keep burning and burning. That's why strength training, and that's the only sort of training that will do it. So, so much benefit to it.
Absolutely. And I think also as we get older, because I know that we're the same age.
Getting older, just a little bit, that's all.
Oh, I saw something horrific on Facebook this morning. My high school, they're starting their HSC, and then I sort of did the math and I realized that today it's 30 years since I did my HSC, and that's just...
Wow.
I don't know where that is.
It would have been 30 years for me too, had I done my HSC.
So sorry if I'm just blowing your brain, because it blew my brain this morning. So I'm sharing the love.
Awesome.
So yeah, as we get older, so once you turn 40, as we know, there's a thing called sarcopenia, which is just a fancy term for meaning that you're going to start losing your muscle if you don't continue to train it.
Move it or lose it.
Yeah, exactly right. Move it or lose it is a saying for a reason, and it's so true. You can slow down that loss of muscle, and you can even reverse that. So you still can put on muscle into your later years, but yeah, you got to work for it. And to do that,
absolutely,
you training.
Absolutely. And when we're talking about building muscle, we're not talking about building muscle that you can actually see, like biceps like men, and great big chests and traps like men. Women don't build like that, but we will touch on that later again.
Yeah.
But it's internal muscle, internally strong for women.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And it's also good for reducing your risk of injuries, and it also helps you when you're coming back from injury, if you build around. So I know with me, I've had multiple knee injuries. And so if you strengthen the muscles around the joints, you're going to reduce your risk of injury, aren't you? Like,
absolutely.
I mean, I know you come from a sporting background. That would be super interesting for you, huh?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. One thing that people probably forget about, and I know it's easy to forget about it when you're younger, but if you can get into this habit whilst you're young and then build it up as you go on, is bone health. So whenever you do an exercise, the muscle actually pulls on the bone and stresses the bone such that it has to lay down new tissue, which is how your bones get stronger. And I mean, we're way too young to worry about it just yet, Belinda.
Absolutely.
Way too young to worry about it yet, but it'll guard off against osteoporosis like in much later years.
So true. So true. It's doesn't take a lot of time to do it, and the benefits later on down the track just far outweigh, I can't be bothered doing it now,
Yeah, and I'd imagine that the stronger your bones are, the harder they'd be to break. So even if you've got a highly active lifestyle, you're not going to break those bones as easily, I don't think.
For sure.
I think mental health is something that we're all becoming a bit more aware of, especially this year. 2020 has been a kick in the nads, hasn't it?
Definitely.
So I think it helps with that for a variety of reasons. I think it's useful in that people can see progression, and it's something so it's an achievement, right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
The more that you can sort of build that, it builds your self-confidence, which then has a direct impact on your mental health.
Absolutely. And it releases the endorphins too, the feel-good hormones. So,
Oh, exactly. God, I mean, if I make a big lift, like when I got my personal best, you could just see the absolute elation.
Yes.
And I was strutting around the house, I was just like, and it was
it's that real sense of achievement too, doing PBs too.
Yeah, it does, because it just and it's you're right, it's a sense of achievement.
Absolutely.
And I think you were talking also about body composition earlier, how strength training affects that.
Yes, with your body composition, I think we did touch on it, that when you develop more muscle from strength training, it makes your body more effective to burn energy. Therefore, it will change the shape of your body. So you will find that strength training will change the shape of your body. Like if you're focusing on trying to lose weight, if that's one of your goals, strength training is an integral part of changing your shape. Yes, when you build muscle, you may not weigh less, but you will look different. You will lose centimeters over maybe kilograms on a scale. So therefore, you also find that with the fact that you're wanting to lose weight, it all does come into what you actually look like as well. So maybe sometimes it's really good to not focus so much on the scales, but how your body is changing as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's not going to give you the whole picture. I think they both have their place. Like you've got your scale, you've got your measurements.
Definitely. They're all baseline measures.
Exactly. All right, cool. I think that's good for the benefits for now. Let's have a bit of a chat about why we train and how often and how long we've been doing it. Did you want to lead off on that one, Belinda?
Yep. Okay. So I strength train probably. I try and aim for 3 times a week. Sometimes life gets in the way. I get it too. So 2 to 3 times I try and make that time for myself.
Yeah.
As you said, for my mental health as well. I think, you know, you get that real sense of achievement when you've accomplished what you wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
I also do it because I'm an avid netballer. And as I get on in years, like I'm only a little bit older than, you know, so, and, but having said that, I still play netball. And I like to make sure that I am fit and strong so that I can avoid injury. Because as we all know, netball's not the nicest sport for staying unscathed. There's knees, ankles, and shoulders. So yeah, I try and focus on strength training to try and keep me strong and to also avoid injury and keep me fit enough to play.
So when did you start strength training? How old were you when you started?
I probably started a little bit later. I probably started when I was about 35. So probably, you know, 12 years or so I've probably been strength training. But to be honest, it's kind of been on and off. It's only been as I've gotten older, I've realised so much more benefit and how important it is as we age. And if you want to keep doing what you're doing, you need to look after yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Do you remember why you started? Like, was there a catalyst that triggered you to start, or did you just think one day, oh, it'd be good to lift some weights?
I think I was a bit of a gym junkie. And I found that I was doing a lot of cardio exercise. I was playing netball, but I did find that I was getting a few injuries. I had a few niggly knees, a funny ankle, and I think there must have been a class that I fell into, and it was strength training, and I really loved it. And it kind of went from there. And of course, like I do my own strength training now because obviously I know what I'm doing now. So yeah, that's how it all began.
Yeah, awesome.
How about you?
Yeah, for me, I probably started strength training a year or two, probably a couple of years before I became a trainer. So probably talking 2006, 2007. And I think for me, it all, what was it? I'd actually, I'll go back. When I was a young, my thoughts are going in 5 different tangents. Just let me rein them back in. When I was a kid, I was always a very skinny kid, and I could eat whatever I wanted and do whatever I wanted, and it wouldn't make a difference. I couldn't put weight on if I tried. Then I got into my 20s, and I got a full-time job where I was sitting down and doing not much exercise, no exercise at all. But I still thought that I could continue to eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. And I put on about 15 kilos over a reasonably short space of time. And I didn't like how I looked. And it was causing problems in my personal life and what have you. So I thought I'd go to the gym, and I had myself a personal trainer. And through that, I then was able to lose that weight. And from there, that's why I became a trainer as well, so I could pay that forward. But I think that's when I started doing strength training. So that would probably, it would have been early 2000s, probably mid, like 2005, 2006. And so I've strength trained on and off since then. It sort of comes in fits and spurts. I'll do it religiously for a while, and then I'll have a break and do something else. But now I've probably been religiously doing it for about 3 months. Before that, I was more focused on running. But I've also done a lot of strength training for rehab. You were mentioning netball. Netball was not my friend. I've had multiple knee injuries through netball and through touch footy and things like that. So part of my strength training is to actually keep the muscles around my knee joint stable. That's one of the big reasons why I train, so that I can do my job and so that I can have a fairly active lifestyle. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm reasonably active. And then about 3 months ago, I wanted to get back into it, but I wanted to do it right. I'm very big on technique with my clients. I wanted to make sure that what I was doing was correct as well. So I got a personal trainer. So I see her once a week, and I also strength train another 2 times on my own. So I'm strength training 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm very structured in that. Unusual, I know. So yeah, and for me, it's not only physical strength, but it certainly helped me a lot with my mental health.
Yep.
For the reasons I was saying before, like it's been seeing achievements and seeing me improve has
Yep.
helped me build my self-confidence and it's helped to lift me out of sort of more of a depressive state. I won't go into that, but yeah, it's been invaluable doing it, and I love it. So
That's good, and that's the main thing. You got to love it.
yeah. Oh, look, I'm not rocking into the gym and going, yay, I get to, it's hard work.
It is.
And so my mood with it will go up and down, but I never regret doing it.
No, you never, ever regret it.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, some of the myths I think you touched on earlier, like women are worried that they're going to get bulky. That's a big one, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Quite frankly, we don't have the testosterone to get huge, not without some help.
Yes.
And we also probably don't eat enough protein in conjunction with that. And I don't think people understand the amount of hours you've got to put in to actually build big size. I mean, you look at the CrossFit girls, and more power to them because I think they're amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
They're genetically gifted. So I think they've won the genetic lottery in that they are able to do that sort of thing. B, the amount of hours that they spend training every day and the amount of time that they would put into their nutrition as well. I think your average person is just not going to do it, hey?
No, it's very, very disciplined. Very disciplined.
Yeah. And I think people have got to realize also there's different body types. So some body types will put it on easier than others. Like I have to fight for every inch of muscle. But then other people will put it on easier. But to get huge, it's most women, majority of women, I would say, don't have to worry about getting huge.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah. I think one of the other things is that, like, one of my clients was just saying, oh, yeah, there's a perception that it's strength training is just not for women, that's what the guys do. And I think you'd agree that any main gym that you go into, it's changing. Over the last few years, I've seen a bit of a change, but there is still predominantly, if you go onto the weights floor, it is going to be mostly men. And if you go into group or if you go onto the cardio equipment, there is predominantly women. But I think that is starting to change. So I think that's a good thing. I think the more that we do things like this and educate people, we can start kicking those boys off the way to crack ourselves.
And I don't know about you, Amanda, but I find that when I lift weights, it makes me feel quite powerful. It really does.
Absolutely.
So I just don't know, you know, I get that there's always going to be myths around it, but, you know, I know there's that saying of, you know, don't knock it till you try it, you know, so give it a go. Seriously, give it a go.
Yeah.
There's so many benefits.
Yeah. And I can see how it would be intimidating as well if you've got the big boys throwing the weights around. I can see how that's intimidating. The two ways that I would say to attack that if you were nervous about going onto the weights floor would be to either A, go with a friend, or B, have a couple of sessions with a trainer, because then you'll be focused on them. You're not going to be looking around at the mirror boys.
I was going to say that too. If you are thinking about beginning strength training, definitely see either a PT or very small group PT to make sure you get your technique right, because that could be potentially the only thing I could see that would not help is if you don't have the correct technique.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember going to the gym one of the first times, and those machines can be so intimidating, and sometimes the diagrams aren't that helpful.
No.
Like, mate, I'm looking at this, I don't even know which way I'm supposed to sit on this thing. Like, and you can see people do it. They walk up to it and they're like, I don't know. And then they move on to something else.
Yeah. So or they look at it and their head goes like this.
Yeah.
Well, if you have to turn your head, that's not a good picture.
But yeah, I think there's also the misconception that if you are a woman, that you're only supposed to use those pink weights, you know, the little ones.
Yes,
And you have to use light weights and you have to do heaps of reps.
yes. And that's how you tone up. That's an awesome myth. I love it. I love it.
Look, you utilize everything. So
Yeah.
you utilize the high reps, but you can also do the heavy weights. I mean, my God, we're not physically, we're able to do it. It's not,
Yeah.
it's like, it drives me nuts when the people talk about doing men push-ups or female push-ups if you do it.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
It's just, it is not gender specific.
No.
I mean, look,
Because like the light, there's definitely a place for lighter weights and high reps, but as far as strength training goes, it isn't a no-go zone for women. Definitely not.
yeah,
Definitely not.
no, mate, no, absolutely agree with you there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then what's the other one? That some people think that if you're older, then it's a dangerous thing to do.
Yes. Yes. Which in fact it's not. It's quite the opposite.
Well, that's right.
It is more beneficial as you get older because of all the benefits that we were talking about earlier, Amanda, that, you know, it strengthens bones, it strengthens the muscles around the bones that, you know, as we age do become weaker, naturally do become weaker, but that resistance training with strength training is of huge benefit as you get older.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about falls prevention and mobility. Like,
Yes, agree.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to be on a walker when I'm older. I don't want to be in a wheelchair. If I'm
Nope.
in a wheelchair, I'm going to be having races for one thing. But I want to be as active as I can for as long as I can, and I think that I think we all want that. Nobody wants to end up lying in a bed. Like, I think strength training is so important for that. And I think that's pretty much it for our miss. Did you have anything extra?
No, I think that's I think we've covered just about everything. There's just just the last thing would be it is just so beneficial, and if you're watching this, you know, and you have any questions, feel free to talk to either of us. You know, we both offer personal training. We both offer like small groups if that's what you would prefer to train in. But you want to make sure that if you're beginning, that you're in safe hands, that they are going to teach you where you're at and the correct technique.
Absolutely. Yeah, I 100% agree with all of that, Linda. I think it's important when you are starting out strength training to start with a PT for all those reasons. And
Definitely.
I know that you, as well as me, like, will meet people where they're at, and especially as you get older, everyone's generally carrying an injury or two or have had issues in the past, and we have to work around that.
Yep.
And yeah, it's not like we're not approachable or anything.
No, definitely not.
So yeah, I think, yeah, I second all that and just say, hey, go for it.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, I think we'll wrap it up there, and I'll see how I can hit. Oh, there's a stop recording button, so I'm just going to hit that.
Awesome.
Thanks for the chat today, and we'll chat soon.
Thank you.